Lotus. Over the years, it has been a brand synonymous with making lightweight sports cars, which once upon a time were even good enough for James Bond. In recent years though, the brand has become shaken and stirred because it has moved into EVs and SUVs. Could this then, the brand new Emira, be the last ever true Lotus ever to be made? Keep watching to find out. Oh, slipped myself in, which isn't the most dignified, but it is a snug cabin. So we're here for a good time, not a long time. This is a short drive, so these are really my first impressions. And believe it or not, despite the probably hundreds of cars I've driven on the channel, I've never ever driven a Lotus. So this is a first for me. And what way to do it with what Lotus says is the most accomplished car it has ever made. So yes, there's a lot riding on this car. So this is a V6 manual. Let's fire it up. Oh, that clutch, that is meaty. You definitely need to do a few calf raises to get that down. Right, and look at this, just, it's like a fighter jet. And this is mid-engine, so you've got the engine right behind you. Let's turn that down. There we go. So, what we're looking at, 365 horsepower with 430 Newton meters of torque. That's thanks to the 3.5 litre Toyota sourced V6, and it has a supercharger for good measure. 0 to 62 is about 4.2 seconds, if I'm not mistaken, and the top speed, if you're able to hit it, is 180. Anyway, like I said, I've only got this car for a very limited amount of time, so let's not waste it. Oh, that is delicious, that clutch. Right, I will need to adjust the steering wheel though. It's too close to my thighs. Ah, that's more like it. Oh, hey! Look, I've just got to have a Kia Picanto. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, that clutch is, oh. Oh my word, that gear change. Oh, that makes the Civic Type R look sloppy. Oh, now I've never used a rifle before, but this gives me some idea of what it would be like to operate one. Really nice change, extremely short. I mean, short to the point it makes an MX-5 feel like it's got a long throw. Oh, okay, let's open it up. I get the wipers on the go. Whoa. Oh. Oh my word, that is fast. Right, we are steaming up, so I will need to put the blowers on. And the brakes are fantastic as well. They are courtesy of AP Racing. I think they're 4 pistons, if I'm not mistaken. You have a choice of driving modes. You have normal. So you've got Tour, Sport or Track. Now it's wet today, so we won't put it in Track, we'll put it in Sport. Yes, I know I'm a big girl's blouse, but I want to make it out alive, and I don't really want to give this car back to Lotus in pieces. Oh my word. Right, I need to keep a very close eye on the time, because yes, I've only got this for about 20 to 30 minutes, but I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun in the process. Let's try and turn it down a bit. I will be honest, the touchscreen isn't the most intuitive to use on the move, but in Lotus's defence, I've only just jumped in the car. Oh, the gurgle and the overrun. It's like God gargling. It's brilliant. Now sadly we are stuck behind a van, so we haven't got the right weather and we haven't got the right kind of traffic, but hey, we're in a Lotus Emira supercharged V6, so it's good enough for me. Now I must confess, when I first started the car up, I think I had it in tour mode, so now I've got it in sport. The dials have changed, everything is tauter, more responsive, and this thing is ready to partay. Now, although it may have the same 3.5 litre V6 as used in the Exige and the Evora, Lotus is keen to stress that the Emira is an all-new platform, so it has a lightweight aluminium bonded chassis. In its lightest form, it tips the scales at 1,405 kilograms. And if this is how Lotus is going to end its previous era, I'll tell you what, from where I'm sitting, it's going out with a bang, a V6 bang. Now, if you so prefer, you can actually have this with a 2 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder. That is thanks to the technical partner AMG. So it is an AMG engine, and it is the most powerful production 2 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine in the world. But in my opinion, you want this. You want the 6 cylinders, chiefly because you get the manual gearbox. With the 2 litre, you have to, well, I was going to say you have to make do, but the 2 litre, you have the DCT. Whereas with this, yes, you've got the red-blooded, hairy-chested manual 6-speed. And in my opinion, in a car like this, that's how it should be. Oh, this is glorious. The steering weight is fantastic. It feels fantastic in the hands. This is electro-hydraulic, and you get so much feedback. Around the, I believe, 20-inch alloys or 19-inch alloys. Around them you have Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport tyres. I've got them on my Land Cooper, and whilst my Land Cooper isn't quite in the same league as this car, I can tell you that the Super Sport tyres are simply brilliant. Even in... Oh, cool. Get it in gear, Aaron. Sort your life out. Sorry, for some reason it wouldn't quite get in second. I'm gonna blame user error for that one, not the lovely folks at Hethel. Where was I? Yes, tyres. The Goodyear Eagle F1 Super Sport tyres, even in conditions like this, they are very capable. I know that because I drove my Land Cooper to Whitby and it was pretty much a monsoon. So yes, these are very, very capable tyres. If you so desire, you can, if I'm not mistaken, have the Michelin Cup 2 tyres if you want something a bit more track focused. Obviously on a day like today, you're not going to be running, you won't want to be running Cup 2s. Oh, lovely. Oh, those brakes are very, very good. This is a very impressive car. And this, in my eyes, is what a sports car should be all about. Well-weighted controls, slick, short gear change, and a lot of noise at the rear. Oh. It makes me quite happy that in this day and age, cars like this are still around. Don't get me wrong, this is a last of its kind, and that is sad. It is sad, but yeah, what a way for Lotus to bow out of its more conventional ICE era internal combustion engine. One thing I haven't mentioned, and I've got pocket rockets in the passenger seat, this is one thing he mentioned when he drove the car, was the ride. this may be a pretty much track-focused sports car, but the ride is still compliant, even more so when you consider that I'm pretty sure this hasn't got adaptive suspension. I think it's just a coilover setup, and the compliancy is properly impressive. And I've got to mention it because you don't really notice the ride, particularly when you're chasing down the red line. But the ride is impressive, and these seats are fantastic, really comfortable, and you do get a sense that you can drive this for quite a few miles without being without being subject to a lot of tiredness and just getting massive backache. I'll be honest, I'm just thinking my way through these corners now, and that's what a good sports car should allow you to do. It should be intuitive. It should be almost second nature.
I know this is merely a first impression, and I mean, for me, it's taken my breath away. I'm pretty sure it's taken yours as well.
Yeah, it's really good.
The question that I asked as well earlier, and probably a lot of the audience will ask, is would you have this over a Cayman?
I'd say over a Cayman S, probably, although I must confess I haven't driven a Cayman S, but I have been lucky enough to drive the Cayman GT4. The thing is, can you compare this to a GT4 though?
No, it's not comparable.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, for me, the GT4 is amazing, and it's still definitely, I'd say, probably in the top 5 cars I've ever driven. But I think this, for me, evokes more emotion, and in some respects, that's more important. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
The GT4 is fantastic, and it is, from an engineering perspective, sensational and mind-blowing. But this, for me, has a bit more character. Maybe it's because the engine has a bit more soul about it. I don't know. Maybe the GT4 is just a bit too clinical. It's too well engineered. Don't know. This feels more alive. I think that's what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded, roundabout way.
But I feel at a price point now, I don't know my Porsche pricing to hand. I'm sure. It definitely makes it more responsive having a forced induction in comparison to a Cayman.
Yeah.
Just the superchargers just gives it so much more it's just crazy.
I think this is the right way.
Yeah, for a pricing point, this starts at £81,000. I don't know what a comparative boxed Cayman GTS would be like price-wise.
I think it would be a bit cheaper, but I'd have to probably correct myself when
you look at it that
subtitles.
Way, is this worth the extra money? If albeit it is more money, is it worth it over a Cayman in that sense?
I mean, it's difficult because I've only driven this for a brief period. I only drove the GT4 for a brief period. Honestly, I suppose it depends on what you want to use it for. If you want something that is a pure track weapon, although this would fit that bill quite nicely, I think the GT4 has to be the go-to if you want something that's going to be an absolute killer on a circuit. I think if you want something that you want to, let's put it this way, would you rather drive this from the UK to the Nürburgring, do a few laps and drive this back, or would you rather do that in the GT4?
I'd take either.
I know, but you know, you get what I mean.
Yeah, this is more set up as a Grand Tourer.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Lotus haven't brought out a more funky version of this yet. Whether it's in the cards, I don't know. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. But it's just such an accomplished thing.
But even the interior, the tan leather just does it for me.
To Lotus's credit, they've really stepped it up in that department. Because if you think of an Elise from the 90s, I mean, it's like getting into a bin bag. Whereas this is properly smart. You've got the nice tan leather, nice gloss black detailing.
Yeah, you stepped into an Elise or even an Exige and you're like, I didn't know we could step back into the Ice Age.
Yeah,
But that's what the ethos of Lotus was at the time.
Yeah,
very traditional sports car.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about all about the driving and all the creature comforts. It's a case of, well, tough. You can't have any.
Yeah.
If you want that, go buy a Porsche. Whereas now Lotus has really stepped up its game in that department. And yeah, I would quite happily drive this to the Nürburgring and back. In fact, I'd probably pay Lotus for the pleasure. And I would deem that to be money well spent. Unfortunately, I mean, there's Lotus's future right there, if you can see it on the cameras, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a fan of EVs, and I'll leave it there. Talking of leaving it there, unfortunately, I need to give the key back. As much as Lotus are going to have to fight me for it, I do need to give the key back to Lotus, and I want to thank them for this opportunity, and SMMT, because I went there at the SMMT regional days. But yeah, this has been absolutely awesome, and I can't believe it's taken me, I've been doing car obsession for 8 years, and this is the first time that I've been able to get my hands on a Lotus. I'll put the parking brake on so we don't roll away.
Both lost our Lotus virginity.
Yes, we've popped our Lotus cherry. So I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Probably haven't enjoyed watching it as much as I have making it, but if so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.